Well, hello, everyone, and good morning to you. This is Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring, and welcome to Two Tutors Talking. For some reason, I'm kind of stuck on what's going on right here. That's a little bit later. So, I just wanted to introduce to you another great tutor that is going to be a great person in your arsenal. So, as a lot of parents, it's that time of year, you already had the holidays, and now you're like, okay, this math thing is still a problem. So, now a lot of people are starting to reach out to tutors, and there's times you just don't know what to look for, what to expect. So, that's why we're here on Two Tutors Talking to introduce you to the best that is around. So, I want to introduce you to my friend, Miss Natasha. Hey, Natasha, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Thanks for being here on Two Tutors Talking.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
It's like Natasha and I have been, I think we've known each other for like a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And it just seems like every time we have a conversation, it's usually a nice 3 hour conversation. It always starts off with, okay, let's talk about math. And then all of a sudden we go into some huge tangent, but we're going to try to wrangle it in for a couple of minutes. It's because it's usually me going on another tangent. But I definitely want to introduce you to this whole world of two tutors talking. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow. Okay. Well, I am a certified math and chemistry teacher in Ontario, Canada. So I work online with high school students, usually math or chem, like I said. And I run my own business, online math tutoring. So that's what I'm doing. I decided I didn't want to teach in the actual teaching world. I moved to the UK for a year and decided I didn't, as much as I enjoyed teaching, I missed the one-on-one tutoring that I'd been doing for my university degree. So when I came back to Canada, I was like, I'm not going into the teaching world. I'm going to jump straight into online tutoring. And I guess it's almost been just about 2 years that I decided to go into it full time for myself instead of working for other people. So it's been interesting. Definitely a lot of fun.
Nice. I mean, and how long have you been tutoring so far?
I have actually been tutoring for over a decade at this point, professionally. Yeah. It's been a long time. I actually started tutoring, like, not professionally, but in high school, tutoring like the 1 year younger than me. And when I got to university, that I got hired to do it as like an actual job. So in terms of part-time jobs, I'm like, this is the best part-time job a university student could have. I got to set my own hours. I got paid more than the minimum wage. It's fantastic. I loved it.
So that's all. That's awesome. I mean, a lot of people like generally they either start somewhere at one point. So either they're starting like as, a high schooler that was really good at math and they were just able to help other people out in the neighborhood, or, you needed a part-time gig for college because, things cost money.
Indeed, they
And,
do.
food, extra activities, always cost money. So when it comes down to when you finally decided to take it, not only as a starting, but really transform it into a business, like how long ago did you finally say, you know what, I'm going to really put this as an actual business?
Almost 2 years ago. It'll be coming up on 2 years in April for full-time business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling. I don't feel
Um,
like I've been doing it that long.
right? It sneaks up on you because like now it's like year 4 for me and I'm like, when did that happen? But what are some of the things that you're noticing, like, in your sessions, like, the type of students that you're getting?
So, I deal with a lot of students who they come to me for one reason or another because they've gone to other tutoring places like Oxford or Sullivan that we have here in Canada, and
Mhm.
they are finding that the programming type method of teaching them isn't working for them. Like, they can't stick to the program. That's not what they need help with. They need help with this other thing, or they need help with usually something that's more than just math. So I say that I tutor students, and only about 50% of my job is actually teaching them math, like at best. The rest of my job is helping them through studying for exams, dealing with anxiety issues, just the stress of walking into an exam or the stress of an upcoming test, the stress of I don't feel like I've ever been good at math. I have students who have previously been told that they're not good at math by their teachers, which just absolutely appalls me. I have students with anxiety disorders. I have students who are on the spectrum. I have students with ADHD. Those are the students that generally, for me, they find me because I can help them with that stuff. I'm neurodivergent myself. So I find that I have dealt with the full array of, strategies. I dropped out of university my first year despite being a straight A student in high school. Like, I've got that experience that they can connect to. So I find a lot of my students are struggling with things that are more than just math. That's not really my focus. I mean, yes, I teach math, but my focus is helping them get there in a way that's going to work for them, in a way that's going to work for their brain.
So yeah, really talk a little bit more about that neurodivergent because I'm starting to see that word more and more in publications, and maybe some parents just don't know. Like, what is it that you actually see in your sessions?
So neurodivergence is a really broad term, and I only actually learned that term a year ago, so I am not an expert on it whatsoever. But basically, my understanding is neurodivergence encompasses a large array. It basically means that your brain works a little bit differently than what is considered neurotypical, hence neurodivergence. So folks who are on the spectrum, so autistic, folks who have ADHD, there's lots of those are the two most common ones that people would be familiar with, but neurodivergence covers quite a bit more than just those two. But essentially, it means that your brain doesn't think or do things the way that a neurotypical brain does. So that can look like a variety of things. Um, and I honestly find that the students that I work with typically have not necessarily neurodivergence, but they have anxiety or other things, and those things factor into what how to teach basically. So my focus is on meeting students where they're at, not just in terms of their math skill, but also the way they learn, how they learn best. Um, so I have students that prefer not to be on camera at all. And so I have a student right now that I've never seen their face. Like, we have never actually they get to see my face on camera. I haven't seen theirs. I have a couple of other students who have a mix of things going on. I had a student recently who was a cancer recovery. So basically, they've got all this other stuff. Like, we're told in school that, okay, math is like the number one priority. Math is the most important thing. School is the most important thing. I'm sure every parent, teacher, student listening to this can relate to that for sure. I know I can. And what if you have something else going on? Like, more than just I have, like, even just athletes. Take it like at base level. You've got athletes who they don't have all that time in the world to study. They don't have 4 hours every day after school to sit down and do math homework, do science homework, do English homework, whatever it is. They don't have that kind of time. So basically, there's all these students out there who have more than just academics going on. I think that's pretty much true across the board, but the varying degree of that changes depending on what's going on. And for those students who have mental health issues, or they have neurodivergence, or they have health, like physical health issues, or something else going on that's extremely draining. Imagine having cancer and trying to do math at the same time. Imagine having ADHD and not feeling like you can sit still long enough in a classroom to pay attention. You tune out. Imagine being on the spectrum and just trying to get your teacher to slow down so you can catch up on what's going on. You understand this thing really, really well, but not this thing. I mean, that's for me. Like, it's across the board. There's something everywhere where somebody's got some sort of difficulty, and the regular school system just doesn't support these students. So that's why I'm here. That's what I do.
Yeah, and you are definitely needed because a lot of parents will actually see this as, "Oh, I think my child's lazy, my child doesn't want," and it's not, because as parents, you wanna do as much as you can for your child. I'm not bashing anybody, and the same thing goes with teachers. I'm not doing all that. It's just sometimes we're so stuck in the pattern of this is how we do school. I'm up here as a teacher. I say what I got to say. You write it down. Then you regurgitate it back to me and put it on the test. And the more questions that you got answered, guess what? The higher your grade and with the more praise that you get. And a lot of kids, they're not dumb. It's just a matter of their processing. Things are going a lot faster. I'm noticing a lot of kids, the first thing that they're saying that I need help because I can't keep up. And like what you said, that what's being presented, it seems like it's going faster. Like we started right where we left off before the pandemic. And we were already struggling in math anyway before the pandemic. I hate to say a parent like, oh no, they never struggled. No, they were. So it was just a matter of the pandemic just opened things up and it opened a lot of people's eyes. But then when it comes to our divergence, the one that learns differently doesn't mean that they have to automatically be in special ed. It doesn't have to be like a major label. Sometimes it's just a matter of like, I just need time for this stuff to marinate. Like I'm seeing this for the first time and I just need time. And sometimes it feels like students just aren't given that opportunity. It's just more like here and just take it. And it's really overcoming. So that's why I like having someone like Natasha or myself or some other tutors to kind of be maybe the translator, or just to be that person, just to be there for your kid, not only just the content, but like you said, Natasha, like to be there physically, like to be there emotionally, and really just say, hey, how was your day? Because sometimes I'm not sure if you get students that will come like later in the evening, or you'll get students that their parents are not home yet and they're like, as we used to call it back in the day, latchkey kids, so they'll get home before the parents do. Do you have like a couple of those type of students?
I do, yeah, and I will sometimes spend an additional half an hour just chatting with my students because, we spent the first half an hour just talking because they just needed to vent about something that happened that day or about something that's been going on that they didn't feel comfortable sharing until more recently, right? And I always feel like students just need somebody to talk to. They're just like everybody else, right? They're just younger versions of adults. I mean, they're just people, right? And they just need somebody to talk to just like everybody else does.
And it's like they're not machines, like you
No.
said, they need that support. In order for us to do our jobs as educators, we have to make sure that their well-being is okay before we
Yeah,
even get started.
absolutely.
So sometimes it might be just a quick like, "Hey, how was your day?" And they're like, "Oh, it's okay." And it's not. But some of the kids are like, "I just want to let's get through the session." I'm like, "Okay." And as we go through the sessions, probably towards the end to say how things going, they're like, I was really having a rough moment. And I'm like, "All right, tell me about it." But we still, parents, we're not just going to sit there and be like, "Yeah, let's chat with your kid all day while you pay us."
Yeah, of
Like, but
course.
at the same time, it's like it's needed. And I think a lot of parents do value that, the fact that you might be that first person that's asked them how their day was
Yep.
before the parents even get an opportunity to. So it's not just content, like what you're paying for. And then it's not just a set program, so they're all being all robotic about everything. It's just like you're getting a human being that's gonna actually care and want
Yeah.
your see your kid progress.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that kinda jumps into the next part, like what makes you unique. So
Well,
we kinda have that covered.
yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about that. I mean, I think I there's a business person I used to follow who used to call it your unicorn factor. Um, I always thought that was kind of cute. Anyway, so what makes me unique or my unicorn factor, I think, is my ability to connect with those students and appreciate and understand them because I'm neurodivergent myself, and like I said, I only recently just learned that word, which means that I'm new to all of this as much as they might be. In fact, a lot of my students are more knowledgeable about things than I am on that subject. But I've always been able to connect with students because I'm there and I get it and I can feel what they're going through. I can understand what they're going through and I don't force them to fit some sort of cookie cutter mold because it doesn't work. It didn't work for me. I mean, I did well in the regular school system, but the cookie cutter mold didn't work for me either. I struggled in different ways. And I've thus far gone undiagnosed. I'm not officially diagnosed as autistic, but I have been indicated to by several people who are knowledgeable in the area that that's probably where I fit in. And to be honest, I haven't bothered getting an official diagnosis because it doesn't really matter. At this point in my life, right? I'm 30 years old. It doesn't really matter that whether I am or I'm not. It just matters whether or not the strategies I'm using work, right?
Right.
So I have
Right.
found lots of strategies over the years, and that's what I've done. I've developed my own strategy toolkit for myself. And as a result of all of the experiences I've had mental health issues. I suffer from depression. So I have, and that's not something you just recover from, contrary to popular belief. That's not something you get better from. That is something that once it's happened to you, you combat it your entire life. So, because I've had all of these experiences, I've dropped out of university, I've had mental breakdowns, I've all of it, and I've found strategies and ways of coping. One, to prevent it from happening in the future, but two, to make sure that I can continue coping day to day, and so that I can get better, I can do things better. And because I've got all of those experiences and things, I connect really well with my students who are struggling with the same thing. Because the worst thing that somebody can tell you when you're struggling in any way, shape, or form is essentially, oh, well, you have to do it this way. No, what
Right.
people want when they're struggling, they want somebody to say, what do you need? Not here's what's going to help you,
Exactly.
right? And so that's what I do. I connect with my students and I say, hey, what's going on? Here are some strategies that might help you. Test a couple of them out. Let me know how it goes. Let me know which ones you liked, which ones you didn't, and we'll construct your own toolkit together. So every toolkit for every person is unique. So I help the students, yeah,
Yes.
there's an array of strategies. I have a big bucket to choose from, and I learn new things every day. I'm constantly finding new resources. So it's fantastic.
And that's what I'm telling you. One, I love your transparency. Hence, that's why you're here. And hence, that's why we're friends. Because a lot of people wouldn't even try to say or admit, like, oh, I have my down days. Like, no, like straight up, I have depression. There's times I'll be in that corner crying. There's times I'll be in my car perfectly fine and all of a sudden have like a mental breakdown. But at the same time, our kids go through that. And sometimes I help our kids, but I also help the parents too. Like sometimes they'll come on to like, "Oh, Miss Audrey, here's the work that the kids need to do." And I'm like, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine." I'm like, "No, you're not fine. What's wrong?" And all of a sudden, we're having a chit chat. And yes, I'm supposed to be here for your child, but I'm also here for you because sometimes people just need to hear, am I on the right track? Like, am I by myself when I'm feeling this type of way? Our kids are doing that, our adults are feeling that. And especially in today's society, no one really actually stops to say, you're doing an awesome job.
Yeah.
Look at all the stuff that you're doing. You're giving that reassurance. Like, as parents, I'm like, you know what? You have an awesome kid. Like, I've seen some kids, but your kid, perfectly fine. Or I like your kid because he does blah 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 blah, or she does da 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 da. And it's a testament of you. And some parents will be like, thank you. Because I have no idea. Because there's parenting books, but there's nothing that's like, yes, like a program. You have to do all this. Same thing with us. So I really like how you're actually putting your experiences and you're making it to connect with your students. And you're giving them some possible resources. We're not saying that we're psychiatrists. We're not saying we're gods. I mean, goddesses, yeah. But we're not saying that we're all mighty. But it's nice to have someone that can take that and use it as a unique tool to help students out. I love that.
Of course.
So here we coming with like coming attractions. So what are some of the things that you're actually doing? Like, are you available? Do you have availability? Are you doing something new and creative? Tell us about it.
I do. I am currently taking on new clients. Now in Canada, we're coming to the end of our first semester. So our semester system is kind of funky here. So we have 2 semesters that take 4 classes at a time. And so we're coming up on exams for the end of January here. So we're just about to power straight through exam season number 1 of the year for semester 1. And so yeah, I'm actually running a sale this month. Um, so if you get on my email list, which you can just sign up to my services guide link with it, which I think Miss Audrey Wonderfulness has on the screen there. Perfect. You go grab my services guide. You can see everything that I've currently got on offer. And when you do that, you sign up to my email list. And at some point, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Friday, you'll get an email in your inbox that says hello and here's all the information about the sale. So I've got a couple of cool things going on this month that way. So the sale is going to be running for the entirety of January. So it's for people who need last minute help with exams and don't want to try and squeeze in to find another tutor. I've still got quite a bit of space left actually. And then I've got a sale on for the upcoming semester if you're in Canada or if you're in the States and you just need help and you've got a full year program and you want week to week help. That's what my semester bundle is for. That's going to be on sale as well. And then I've got a nice little math membership. And right coming for the sale, you are going to be able to get 3 months, just like a 3 month, instead of paying month to month, you can get 3 month um, pack, if you call it that. 3 month pass, that's what I've been calling it. Um, and then it won't auto renew. So if you just want to buy 3 months of the membership, and that's to get direct support from me, but just like as needed, not like a lot of one on one calls or anything like that. It's just so if you've got a little bit of going on, you just need a little bit of help, you just need to be able to pop in and ask a question every now and then, that would be the one for you. So that's what I've got on offer this month. So that's kind of cool.
Nice, cool stuff. So definitely, if anything, on the replays, I will definitely copy this and put it as like the first part of the comments. Because some places can get comments. I know in LinkedIn they can't get my comments automatically live. Don't ask me why. I didn't invent it. But I would definitely like share the link so you guys can go into the service guide and take a look around. And really, just because she's in Canada, guys, it doesn't matter. Math is universal. So if it's something that you need some assistance with, don't hesitate to ask. Look at some of the resources that's being given here, but at the same time, put action to it. So everyone keeps saying 2024, this is the year. This is the year I'm going to do something. Now, don't stop talking about it. Put some action to it. Okay. Go after that tutor that your child needs. Now, she's also on some other things. Like you can look her up on Facebook if you want to like take a look in there. Just take a look, have some questions. But I think the service guide will be the best part. If you're also currently listening on LinkedIn, you can definitely check her out on LinkedIn with Natasha. And there's other places. I think Pinterest, but we all know we try to do what we can do in Pinterest. It happens. So, because I'm the same way, like sometimes in Pinterest, sometimes I'm not. But definitely take a look in that service guide so you can guys can get more attention. Now, before we skedaddle, I just kind of be making a couple of posts here and there. I'm going to get rid of that, but I'm going to leave that up there. I'm actually going to be starting a math tutor membership. So if you are a teacher that's thinking about doing tutoring, or if you're currently a math tutor and you need a home, I decided to do a membership. I put something out there. Some people are like, yes. Some people are like, let me think about it. And I just figure, you know what? If you're interested, we can nerd it out. We can do some math things. I'm trying to get some guest speakers. Actually, I got the first guest speaker to help us out with our businesses and actually to produce some promotion. So if you are interested in this and you've actually heard about it, just go ahead and send me a message on contact@audreycodner.com. Yes, I've been very busy over the holidays trying to get my domain name and everything situated. So if you are interested, go ahead and send me a message at contact@audreycodner.com. So thank you so much, Natasha, for coming in. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you had a good time on Two Tutors Talking.
I did indeed. Thanks for having me.
Yes. So again, Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for all the support that you guys are having. We're getting really close to episode 50. I can't believe it. And things are going great. If you are also a tutor and you would like to be on Two Tutors Talking, go ahead and contact me. Again, you can just DM me on any of my Facebook or Instagram or even TikTok and just let me know if you want to be a member. So, as always, I just want to say thank you again,